fortunate because they told us there was over 1,200 entries and 17 states submitted things. So getting first was like a big honor.
Amazing.
Yes.
Newspaper came, pizza came, so congratulations.
We appreciate it. We award you also the Medal of Excellence. Can we do a picture?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. And who did you bring with you this evening? That's okay. As she calls your name, please stand.
My father,
Dad, please stand.
mom,
Please stand. There you are.
my English language arts teacher, Mr. Kavanaugh.
Miss Kavanaugh. Wonderful. Yes.
Wherever Miss Morrison. Hello.
You got Miss Morris. Yes. Kyle, please stand. Thank you all so much for being here this evening and supporting this young lady. We're fortunate to have her at South Middle School. Thank you, Ms. Morris. Okay, we're going to move right to our Henderson High School academic team. Now, some of you that were here last year met these fine folks. If you're here and I call your name, please come forward. We have a Medal of Excellence for you. Zachary Beichman. Is he present this evening?
No.
Roads are flooded. Cole Privet.
He's working.
We'll keep going. Andrew Sauls. Come on up, Andrew. State championship in composition. DJ Banks. DJ Banks was regional social studies champion, 2nd place in arts and humanities, 7th at state in social studies, and the quick recall captain. Alex Chandler. Please come forward. He is a quick recall starter. Harrison Jenkins. Please come forward, Harrison. Regional language arts champion, state champion in language arts, and a quick recall starter. Riley Lavelle. There she is. Regional 4th place in arts and humanity. Did I miss any students? Mr. Brian Sullivan, would you come forward, please? Teacher and academic coach for Henderson County High School. Now, we know that this team performed top extremely well last year and did the same this year. But here are some of their team results. Ready? 1st place in University of Kentucky Fall Tournament. 1st place, Class Act Fall Tournament. 1st place, Penny Ralph Academic Association Tournament. 1st place, Woodford High School Tournament. 1st place, Governor's Cup District and Governor's Cup Regional. 1st place, NAQT Kentucky State Championship and the Goldenrod Cup State Championship, and 2nd place in the Governor's Cup State Championship. Congratulations. They were ranked 21st in the nation. Woo! Pretty amazing team. County High School. So we're going to go on to Atlanta at the end of this week. So we're going to do a shout out and wish you all well. And then they'll also compete in the Nationals in Washington, D.C. later in the summer.
2 different national tournaments, and it's the next weekend. So Atlanta this weekend and D.C. the next weekend.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations, y'all. We wish you well. We're very proud that you're a part of the Henderson County Schools. Thank you so much. And Mr. Sullivan, your leadership is phenomenal. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Can we do a picture? Thank you all, and best wishes going forward. I will apologize, but if any of those young men and the young lady have family or friends with them, would they please stand and be recognized as well? If you came with one of those fine people, thank you so much. Another group I want to recognize this evening is, I'm just going to tell you a story by reading this to you. Sometimes good deeds are planned out in advance, and other times They just happen. Some of both took place at the annual Henderson County Archery Banquet, where a planned giveaway of 3 bows turned into an opportunity for some seniors to help out. We had 3 bows donated to give away, explained Coach Tammy Duke. Is she with us this evening? Please come forward. She is the president of our archery club, which hundreds of students are involved in, Ms. Duke. She asked coaches to turn in names of archers that did not have their own personal bows. And they were having a drawing for 2 elementary archer names and 1 middle school name. And after the drawing took place for those bows on Sunday at the banquet, a longtime local archer supporter, Chase Fulcher, stepped in and said he would purchase another bow for a middle school. So now we have 2 elementary kids and 2 middle school students that would receive a bow. So that was pretty cool. But what happened next was probably one of the best things that has happened in the Henderson County schools. Now, we just gave an award out to students that performed really high in academic, but character is equally important in the Henderson County schools. And that is part of one of our core values that we try to live by as a board, by all of the staff, to be exemplary models for our students. But here's what some of the students did. Kelly Wright, is she with us this evening? She wasn't able to do this. A high school senior, an outgoing archer, approached Miss Duke and said that she would like to donate her bow to one of the archers, paying it forward. She said, I'm graduating this year and someone else can use my bow. Then pretty soon, senior Brendan Majors, is Brendan with us this evening, stated he would also, and before she knew it, Ty Troutman, come on up, Ty, Ashley Hinkle, up here, and Ethan Melton. Is Ethan with us? Come on up. All followed suit and donated their bows to the younger students who didn't have their own. 5 seniors took it upon themselves to help younger students in moving forward. And I think that shows an act of courage and an act of character. Obviously, they teach that very well in archery, the expectations, and it's certainly a part of what we expect in Henderson County schools. So gentlemen, you also get the honor of excellence, the Medal of Excellence tonight, to say thank you for your generous gift in thinking of others and going forward. Now, who have you brought with you tonight? Hey, you're on your own, dude. On their own. That's okay. They can do that. They're seniors, right? They're on their own. But I think we also have some young folks with us, the ones who received the bows. And would you mind to introduce those, Ms. Duke?
Winston Young from South Middle. Wesley Galante from North Middle. I know Morgan D. Esparza from East Heights will receive one. Macy Breedlove from East Heights will receive one. And Jaden Smith from Spotsville.
Congratulations. So I challenge the young folks that as when you become a senior to pay it forward and be able to earn that Medal of Excellence as well. What a great organization and program our archery is for our young people. And again, hundreds of students across our county participate. And thank you, Ms. Duke, for all you do for our students. Would you join us in a picture? Awesome. As we're getting organized for a picture, that's right. Thank you. Now, I know the young folks here, the students that receive those, you didn't drive yourself here. So if you're a mom, a dad, a support person for our young folks, would you please stand and be recognized as well? Thank you for taking time to bring them this evening. And thank you for allowing them to be in archery. Thank you. Congratulations. We have another archery state Another archery student that we would like to recognize is Dalton Hinkle with us tonight. Now, I'll tell the story the very best I can about Dalton. Dalton went to the state championship, I believe, and to get a perfect score, it is a 300. Your total number of points you want to get after you shoot is 300. And at state, you did get a 300. 299. So, scored everything perfect except for one shot, which was a 29. Then you went on to nationals, and you scored a 299. At the state, you had to do a shoot-off. So tell us what does that mean when you have to do a shoot-off?
Well, when you do a shoot-off, basically you have 5 arrows they use for practice, and then you have 5 arrows per score. And I shot a 50 and he shot a 49, so he lost my point. And that's basically it for the shoot-off.
I think there was somewhere in there that he scored a perfect score. So at state, two people scored a 299. Then you had to do the shoot-off. You scored the perfect, and he scored one less. It's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then he goes on to national and wins the national championship with a 299 out of 300 as well. So we are very proud of excellence, and we appreciate your leadership and congratulations. Did you bring someone with you tonight? Awesome. Wonderful. Would you all stand and be recognized as well? It takes a lot of practice and dedication, and you all spend a lot of time also supporting your son, and we appreciate that very much. Congratulations. Very impressive. What do you plan to do next year?
I'm just going to be shooting and trying to get the same things again. I also have All-Stars that I got, which basically this year has to be best. It's top 10 shooter in the United States. And it's versus South Africa and Canada.
When is that?
That is July 9th.
We wish you some good luck. Can't wait to hear about that outcome. We'll have to be looking forward to that. Oh, we got a picture. Okay, we have a couple more to go, and we started this school year a program called Early College Program, and that is where we had a group of juniors and or seniors could start to take classes at the community college full time. And so instead of going to the high school and having a traditional day there, they took all of their classes at the community college and received college credit and high school credit at the same time. We had 2 students who finished their senior year at the community college, and they graduated Friday night. They decided a few months ago that they would apply to the School of Nursing, which we know is very competitive at the community college. And students that are freshmen or sophomore at the community college, they kind of vie to try to get into that program. It's very competitive. We had 2 seniors who walked across the stage Friday night be accepted into the nursing program at the community college. One of them is not with us this evening. That was Alyssa Weber. But the other young lady is with us tonight. And Katie Wilkerson, could you come forward, please? Congratulations. Katie, we give you the Medal of Excellence tonight for your leadership and hard work. When you walked across that stage Friday night and graduated high school, how many college hours did you graduate with? She says at least 50. What an amazing opportunity. Look forward to hearing more about you. I don't know if you'll be the youngest that's ever been, yes, she says, that's ever been accepted into the nursing program, but we know that you'll be successful, and you know that there's a lot of support for you. So congratulations. Very proud of you. did you bring with you tonight? My mom. Stand up, Mom. I know you're very proud. Thank you. Okay, and lastly, there's a lot of great things that happen right here at the end of the school year. We want to make sure that we acknowledge Henderson County High School, who received a silver medal, Best High School in the U.S. News and World Report. Mr. Chad Thompson, would you come forward, please, and any other staff member that might be here tonight from Henderson County High School, please stand. Come on up, Mr. Corsi, you're here with them tonight. Mr. Gardner, come on forward. They received the silver medal, which means they ranked 27th in the state of Kentucky. If you look in the top 30, we are one of 2 of the high schools in the western part of Kentucky, which puts Henderson County High School in the top 10 by that report. The last time that was accomplished was in 2014, so I wanted to make sure that we publicly said thank you for your leadership. We appreciate the work that you all do in going forward, and we're proud of that maroon and white. And Mr. Thompson, did you bring someone with you tonight?
I did. I'm going to call him out, and I'm going to embarrass the snot out of him. Please put your hands together for my son, Mr. Boone Thompson, a future attorney.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate what you do every day.
Ms. Montana,
Yes.
can we also thank the spouses of all of these Henderson County High School employees, because them and their families give a lot to get us to the top.
Absolutely, we can. Absolutely. Give them a round of applause. And Mr. Thompson, can I give you the academic team folks around here? That concludes the staff and student recognition.
Thank you, ma'am. We need to back up because my person who keeps me in line over here reminded me that we forgot to approve the agenda. I forgot to get us to approve the agenda. So has everyone had a chance to read the agenda over, and are there any additions or changes? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as listed. Thank you. And do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sub. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. We're going to interject a quick video here before we move on to our next agenda. We tried to get it to play in the beginning. If you all could stay and watch this, we would love
Do
it.
you know the one word in the Henderson County schools? This. One word. Just one word. As long as we live and breathe our core values and make our mission statement happen every...
sorry. Sorry, folks. Bring popcorn next time. Okay, moving on to public participation and recognition of guests. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the board this evening besides the Volunteer and Information Center? If you do, please fill out a form and bring it to us so we can recognize you. If not, Ms. Tricia Wright.
My name is Tricia Wright. I am a board member with the Volunteer Information Center, and with me tonight is Ms. Susan Laws, our executive director.
Thank you all so much for giving us some time tonight. We won't take up much of your time. Not too terribly long ago, if you wanted to find information about a nonprofit agency here in the area, I think you probably all might remember this, the Community Resource Guide. It's about a 1,600-page document that on a regular basis the Volunteer and Information Center would reproduce. We'd make phone calls to all the agencies and we would get updates so that it would be an updated information. Then we would charge people $50 for a copy. So you come to the office, pick it up, then you have your new copy. But you know what? As soon as you picked it up, it was really outdated because something obviously would have changed. A person would have changed, a phone number would have changed. So we now have our community resource guide online. And thanks to Tricia, this has happened. It is hendersonkycrg.com. You can go there and get all of the information that used to be in this book. But it's real time, it's updated, and it's been created so that anybody, any user of it, can go in and change their own information, or they can call us and do it. We're proud of this. We want you all to use it as you need to. We thank Tricia for doing this, and we wanted to make all of you all available, or to know that it's available right now. And that was hendersonkycrg.com.
I didn't know if we had time to bring that for a second. If you go there, you will see everything that we managed to do, and the default page is the search page.
Is Henderson County Schools listed on there?
I'm getting there. I'm adding agencies as I have time. Obviously, I'm doing work.
Because since we're a key piece of all of those that you've listed.
Our FRCs are going to have their
their own page, but Henderson County Schools would be nice if we had a page. Cool.
Your service center's on that.
Youth Service Center is our contact.
I think you'd say we love Henderson County students.
Please let us know if there's any other part of the school system that we should list separately. We'll be glad to include that.
That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you all for bringing that to our attention. We sure appreciate it. And that's a big improvement. Thank you. Moving on to approving the minutes from the prior meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review their minutes? There were two. There was a special meeting on May 10th and also an expulsion hearing on May 10th. Any changes or additions to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes as listed. Thank you, Dr. Sugg. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Wes. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to reports. The first one is Ginger Carter, Certified Evaluation Plan.
Good evening. After the recent legislative session, one of the things that came about is updates to our Certified Evaluation Plan. So tonight
we're bringing to you the updated certified evaluation plan for your approval. It's the 2018-19 version. The process is that we review the law, we take this to our 50-50 committee. 50-50 stands for 50% of the committee is made up of our teaching staff, 50% is made up of our administrative staff. We review what needs to be changed per Kentucky Department of Ed, and we make those changes, then we come to you for approval. Once you approve, we will send it to the Department of Education for them to approve. If for some reason they do not approve or feel we need to change something, they'll send it back to our committee and we'll go through this process again. My hope is that this is the one time that we have this on the agenda this year. Some of the highlights of the 18-19 plan are changing the terminology. In the past, it used to be PGES, Professional Growth and Effectiveness System. Our 17-18 plan removed that. The 18-19 further removes some of that terminology. So we've gone to 4 measures now for every single certified grouping. That would be planning. The performance measures are planning, environment, instruction, and professionalism. You'll see that in every category. Also, something that's new this year, previously our district certified administrators and our school psychologists were evaluated, but they were not, did not fall into the 4 categories of ineffective, developing, accomplished, and exemplary. This plan now has every category of certified employee in one of the, their evaluation will result in one of those ratings. The summative forms for all certified professionals are updated to be more user-friendly and also to be one page so that it's easier for the evaluator, the evaluatee, and the HR department whenever filing, because that is less paper to file for in a person's personnel file. The district certified administrator process is now defined. Previously, it was simply the observation form and the summative form. Now it has a narrative defining the process as well as the evaluation ratings. Our observer training is outlined. In the past, it was prescribed by the state to use Teachscape. No longer is that a mandatory training option. We have more options at the district level now. What is mandatory is 6 hours of ELA approved training yearly. So that's reflected in our plan. Our evidences were updated to reflect current instructional practices. And the other big change was in peer observation. The law defines peer observation as an allowable evidence. And so that was noted in the evidences as well. So those are the changes. And the 50-50 committee presents this to you all for your approval so that we can forward on to Frankfurt.
Any questions, board members, regarding the new plan? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the 2018-2019 certified evaluation plan as presented. Thank you, Dr. Sugg. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Ginger.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
And moving on to Spotsville update, Mr. John Hagen-Cordell.
Good evening. Had a pretty good month. The last couple months have been much better than the previous few. So, starting with the exterior of the building, the roof is, for all intents and purposes, the roof is complete. The last 2 rows of shingles are yet to go on. That will happen when the fascia board and coping and the gutters go on, which gutters are supposed to be delivered tomorrow, or excuse me, Wednesday to their shop, and they'll be back on site to complete their work. The brickwork should wrap up about 10 days or so. It is no longer delaying the job. They're far enough ahead of the window gap that they're not holding anything up. So 10 days or so they should be getting off site, which will make a lot of room for the other trades, which we need desperately. Same with the geothermal driller. He should complete tomorrow. We should get the last 2 wells drilled tomorrow, assuming they don't get rained out, but we get them off site as well. That frees up the front parking lot. If you get out there, you notice that the grade work's been completed, stone's going down, and if the weather cooperates, they'll be out there tomorrow stud work has progressed very well. All the stud framing is complete, 99% complete. Same with the block work on the interior of the building. They should finish that media center office area tomorrow in all likelihood. So we can get cleaned up inside and make way for the painter. The painter is working in any areas the windows are installed. So interior finish work will be starting soon. Ceramic tiles going down. And we should complete the kitchen, if not tonight, tomorrow, and then start the bathrooms. Kitchen equipment started arriving. Freezer and cooler came in last week. Elevators showed up today. They're getting started. Probably take them about 4.5 weeks to complete their work. Big thing right now is dehumidification of the building. Now that we're closing the building, it's getting hot and humid. You got to dry the place out. Moisture and sheetrock going to go together very well. So we'll be getting these dehumidifiers set and running until the time that the permanent systems come online. So we're going just as hard as we can go. Contractors working overtime. We had 13 electricians on Saturday, so their electrician in particular, obviously he got a late start, so he's trying to catch back up. I would say 2 more weeks and 2 more Saturdays, he should be caught up to the other trades. So they're working very well with us on that. But pretty good month.
Madam Chair, may I make a comment? I know that we all are obviously disappointed that we won't get into that building right at August 1, but I do want to share with the board that John Hagan and Randall have definitely responded to your requests, to my requests, to push the subcontractors as hard as they can, and they are holding them accountable as far as working on Saturdays, bringing in extra people and extra crews, and continue to push those subcontractors to try to hit that deadline. We know that's probably not going to happen, but I just want to say thank you for continually driving them as hard as you
We've
can.
not told them any difference, so we don't
Right.
let that cat out of the bag.
And don't.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you, John Hayden. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate that. Moving on to the athletic report. Mr. Corsi?
Good evening, and it's good that I could be here because originally we had our district softball game with Union County at Webster County scheduled for tonight. However, we got rained and it was rained out and postponed until Wednesday. Our softball team, as you see the report in front of you, finished 8-14 this year, and they'll begin postseason play not tonight but on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock versus Union County at Webster County, who's the host. Our Colonel baseball team finished 19-10. They were the #1 seed in the district, and so they, by virtue of that, get a bye to the championship game, and they'll play the winner of Webster and Union on Thursday. That is a change on your report there. It's been moved to Thursday at 7:30 at Webster County. The regional for softball and for baseball will begin on Memorial Day. Softball is going to be played at Hopkins Central High School in Madisonville, and then the baseball will be played at Christian County down in Hopkinsville. Tennis and track just finished up in their state this past weekend. John Nunez was regional runner-up again and qualified for the state meet, and he was defeated in the second round. And we had a doubles team of Callie Priest and Isabella Wright, who qualified for state, and they bowed out in the first round of the state. In track, J.C. Pickett, 5-time regional champ in pole vault, 4-time state champ in pole vault, and for the 3rd year in a row, she was the state champ. And she also holds the state record that she did last year at 13 feet 6 inches in the pole vault, and she's going to be continuing her track career at the University of Kentucky. But a big shout out to J.C. Pickett for that great accomplishment. 3 years, winning it 1 year is an accomplishment, but to go 3 years in a row and then 4 times in a career, in her young career for that matter, is just a magnificent accomplishment. Jabriant Vincent was regional champ from 100 to 200, and then he was 7th and 16th in the state. And also Isabel Tishner and Janae Bailey, they qualified for state in the hurdles. Kate Russell won the region in shot put, and then he finished 4th at the state meet. And Brooke Springer was another state qualifier, and she was in the discus. We had a bass fishing team, a couple of anglers who qualified for state. Their team, Gabe Turner and Kelvin Otis, and they competed. And when they did their practice round, they did really, really well. But the fish moved, so they didn't. I know, yeah, it wasn't a good day of fishing down at the lake on that. And then of course we already know all the great accomplishments of the Dalton Hinkle. And actually he's going to be at the All-Star Championship in Canada, Calgary, Canada, July the 9th through the 11th is those dates. And like I say, he was #1 in the state. And in fact, his shooting at the state, he had 29 10s and 1 9. So to get that 299, and of course the 50. And then he went to nationals and did the same thing. And so that's just a great accomplishment, and just a junior for that. The main gym, Colonel Gym, was closed down this summer as a new HVAC system is going to be installed there. In fact, they've started work on it. And so there's going to be a lot of, if you come to the high school this summer, in order to get in, it's going to take a trick because of all the machinery and stuff. Installing units, they're having to shut down several entrances to the high school. I know we've got some basketball camps coming up, and some kids might be involved in that, and they'll need to enter to come into the parking lot on Garden Mile and go at the stadium lot and come up, and we'll have cones and stuff directing them for that, because we want everyone to stay away from all the heavy machinery that will be there and keep everybody safe. Of course, all of our fall sports are conditioning, getting ready for the upcoming seasons that we have coming up. And so, any questions? All right.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
Thank you.
Moving on to random drug screening update, Mr. Bryant. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes.
Thank you for all your work at graduation. It went extremely well. All of your organizational skills show.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Right. You all have the data in front of you, I believe, from the year-end report of our drug testing. And overall, I was very pleased with the results. We had, 466 students that we drug tested at the high school and both middle schools. And I'm excited to say 95% of those students tested negative. We did have a few that we call legitimate screens that they tested positive for something like amphetamines, and most of those cases were the student was on medication, prescription medication that we had to get proof from the parent, which parents are very cooperative in those situations. And I want to thank the principals from South and North and Mr. Thompson for just allowing us to invade their schools once a week to pull kids to drug test. And I think overall it's been a very positive experience. I know it has been for me, and the kids have been very cooperative, the ones that we've tested, and no complaints. We've had a couple of kids that we've drawn multiple times, had some parents upset, said you're picking on my kid, and they understand in the end that they know that it's random, so that they're fine. Do y'all have any questions for me about the drug testing?
Go ahead, Dr. Sutton.
Yeah, I have to check on that. We double check on that. I think what happened is a student came from a divorced family, and one parent lives in Evansville, and they gave us that address, if I remember correctly. I don't think they live there. They don't live there permanently. It's more of a
out-of-county residents or children that we've allowed to come into our schools?
Union or Webster. Mm-hmm.
We also have had the option of self-reporting. Has that? Have you had any of those working? Yes.
We have not. No.
Okay.
But you know, the neat thing has been that I've noticed that the kids that have actually tested positive have been completely honest about their situation, and they're not making excuses. They're owning up to what they've done, and they're accepting the consequences. And I've seen changes in their behavior from the time they tested positive until the consequences were over. So it makes some good positive changes.
It changes the culture in the school too.
Right.
Well.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah. Any other questions, board members?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to early childhood, the student director.
Good evening. I was just told that I needed to kind of give a recap of how our year went in early childhood. There were lots of things that happened in early childhood, so we just kind of gave you a collage to kind of touch on some of those. Lots of family events. In fact, we had 69 family events, and family events being defined as something that we planned for families and children to have interaction with each other that had a literacy, math, or social emotional teaching component for the parents. And out of those 69 family events, 6,554 people came through those, so they were impacted by what we did. There are pictures on the next slide, Ms. Robin, that I think tell a better story than me just listening. We had a storyteller, and a national recognized storyteller, come in for our child care partners in Henderson County, and we have 6 of those. And our board learning event at night, and then our 21st century program, our enrichment program, got that. We had a carnival dance at the end of the year where we focus on kindergarten readiness skills, and the kids have carriage rides, and they meet all their favorite superheroes and their favorite princesses, and they have a dance. We had 6 board learning sessions and lots of other things. Our students did not, I need to stop there. My daughter invited all of her soccer teammates and childhood friends to come and be princesses for me, and they made lovely princesses, so I told her I would put that picture up for her, even though she's not here. Our students also got to participate with our fathers in the Watchdog program. This was our 2nd year for the Watchdog program. We had 15 dads volunteer. 10 returned for a 2nd time, and we had one gentleman that actually has no kids at our school but enjoyed the Watchdog program so much that he came to find me at Casey's to see if he could come, and would that be weird? His wife told him it would, and I told him it would not. We would be glad to have him. So we had a total of 182 dads attend our 2 launch events, shooting one in the fall and one in the spring. And we had roughly 300 hours of volunteer time from those Watchdog dads, and our kids very much enjoy that positive male interaction that they get from them. And we typically stick them in their child's classroom for about 45 minutes, and then they usually stay with us for the whole day, and they're like a human playground. Everywhere they go, they're reading, kids are climbing on them, they're on the playground, they're in the cafeteria. It's a great program. We had 333 of our parents fill out our ACEs data survey, and from that, we have done lots of things this year. We're getting ready to kick off some training that's going to help us plan for next year, but the biggest takeaway that we took from that was that our families need help with relationships. Our families need help figuring out how to be a family, what that looks like, inside the home, what that looks like when you come outside of the home, what that looks like with your kid, what that looks like with your significant other. And we are going to a Bridges Out of Poverty training as an administrative staff to utilize the information from this data and to make some changes in our building. This was our first year for our 21st Century program, and if you would go just a little, this is the first 10-week session that our kids went through. I know you can't read a whole lot of that, but if you'll pay attention, green is where these 30 kids came into the program, and after 10 weeks, blue is where they exited the program on literacy and math skills. We were able to do that for 3 consecutive 10-week sessions. Roughly 90 kids, although we do have some kids that were, they did repeat multiple sessions. And the kids had to demonstrate growth or they stayed in the program. 100% of the kids demonstrated growth, but we just had some that took to it so well that we invited them back because we knew that they needed that. So this is our first 10 weeks for our scores. Again, green, they came in, blue, they went out. And this will be our, this is where they rated our program. My teacher wanted me to put this in. This was our first year. We didn't really know what we were getting into. They sent us an email and said, fill this out the best you can. Don't worry if you don't get all 4s because nobody rarely does. And when we went through it, we got all 4s. So we wanted you guys to see that. They spend an entire day with us looking at our program and talking with our teachers and looking at our schedules and talking to our kids and talking to our other teachers. We also have several grants that we utilized this year. Our Smart from the Start grant was a nutrition grant and a physical fitness grant that we used. It funded 4 family events, and we had a smart wall in our cafeteria for families that sent in photos of activities or nutritious meals. They went in for drawings. We had 2 kids in the kitchen events. We did some purchasing of some online physical activity things that our teachers could use in the classroom. Then I just talked about our 21st Century grant. We had 2 partnership grants that allowed us to meet the need of 7 private child care partners for kids that we aren't getting in our center. We were able to send 2 teams out, with 1 with a certified teacher and 2 assistants. They went out twice a week and spent 4 hours a week in the child cares teaching literacy, math, and social emotional lessons. Our quality assurance grant provided materials to the child cares. It also provided some off-site professional development for my staff, and it went along with our Smart from the Start national grant that we got. The Preston Foundation gave us $25,000 for scholarships. That covers about 16 scholarships. We had about 21 kids that needed a scholarship. Our staff was able to provide 1 more scholarship, and we ate the rest. Century Aluminum helped us out with our backpack club, and that allowed us to provide 55 kids or 51 kids with backpacks where we would have only been able to do about 35. It gave us about 20 more. And then Century Aluminum helped us with an early literacy campaign where we're putting out some brochure information about the 6,000-hour gap and the vocabulary gap. And our total amount is $345,000 for this year. Our enrollment has grown 22% since TVJ opened in 2014. We had our largest number this year. At one time this year we were at 481. We ended the year at about 472. We did a service project this year, Sowing Seeds of Kindness, which went across the community. We were able to deliver 30 plants and professionally drawn portraits by our preschool students to the recipients of those 30 plants, and the students decided who they were going to pick. Another service project that we did, our students raised $1,500 for Heroes in Our Neighborhood for Cancer for Kids. I wanted them to raise $500. They raised $1,500, so I kissed the pigs 6 times. 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the afternoon for every time they broke the goal that we set for them. that was great fun. And my kids will never forget that I kissed the pig in front of them. We provided 51 students food for 25 weeks through our backpack program. We do have one National Board Certified teacher, and we had 1,171 volunteer hours this year. Our Family Resource Center had 107 contacts. She contacted 154 people who were in need. 44 families were serviced. We did 79 dental screenings. We provided 21 students with clothing, 98 students with Christmas assistance, 9 families with utility assistance. We had 16 families given help with birth certificates, gave out 11 Elias kits, helped 1 family with housing assistance, gave 4 students a bed from Build-A-Bed, 21 children received shoes, and 2 students received their vision screening from a referral done at our school. That's all. Do you guys have any questions for me? Any questions for me?
Not questions, just what a wonderful program for our community. Wow. Really, really weird. I can tell.
Thank you, Ms. Ashby. Moving on to home program in Title III, Ms. Nancy.
Yes, we'll go over the home program. This is the end of the year home program. As we started out in August, we had 118 students that qualified for the home program. By the end of by Friday, we had 398. That is 5.5% of our total student population. 351 of those students live with other families, or their families live with other families. We have 32 that live in hotels, 10 in the women's shelter, and we had 5 that are in substandard housing. And of those students, of the 398 students, Henderson County Schools transports 217 of those students to their school of origin. So what that means is they started out the school year in their district, but then their housing was disrupted. Then our transportation department continues to transport them. They moved to Spring Gates District. The goal is to keep the student in the home program in their school of origin, to provide them some type of consistency for the remainder of the year. And so that transportation is provided by our school system. Those things are funded through the grants that we qualify through the Veto and Vento, and also through Title I and SEEK formula. Of those 50 of those students that have been transported, our home program has also transported 138 students throughout the year for emergency situations. Maybe it was they moved here first and didn't get the transportation all lined up the next morning, so Mr. Hurd or Amber Chandler transported that child or those children to school for their first day or home, or there may be a situation where the family did not have any transportation, and so we provided transportation for the family. Also, I wanted to mention that 55 of the students of the 398 are students that are unaccompanied youth in our district. And as we started our early online registration, we already have over 100 students that qualify for the home program for next year. Any questions that you have about our home program? Might be able to explain a little better.
Ms. Nancy, is there anything we could do for these students that we're not already doing?
I think that as a community and as a school district, we do everything possible for these students receiving. The most important information that probably that we need to be aware of is in the past 5 years, our English learners has doubled in size. Still at 131, that is not a lot, but for it to double in 5 years, we continue to get more and more every month. And you'll notice just this year alone, we received 6 newcomers. So that's students that have never been in the United States public schools. And so they're non-English speaking. And they can range from anywhere from kindergarten to 12th grade. One thing that we like to mention as well is our EL teachers took a day and we traveled to Warren County because they have the largest population of EL students in the state, and in some cases, in some areas across the country, they have well over 1,000 students. So we spent the day with them with professional development and observing their best practices. I don't know if I mentioned, but they committed a day of their spring break to do this. And we learned some very valuable information and how we wanted to best invest in our professional development to prepare for next year.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Any other questions? Ms. Nancy? Yes, ma'am.
I know that in Warren County in particular, the number of languages is what's so complex there, in addition to the number of students. How would you characterize, I know you don't know or don't have to give us exact numbers, but percentage-wise for Hispanic students versus other languages, are we getting more of the other languages in? Kind of what percentage do you know would be other languages?
Say that just off the top of my head, that about 80% of course is Hispanic, and then the other is just a kind of an eclectic mix. Just not in great numbers, but there are a few.
Anything else, board members? Thank you all. We appreciate all the information about the reports. Moving on to, there is no old business. We're moving on to new business. BG 18-354, the archery building, lighting and bin gate lighting.
We're asking for approval to start another BG1 project. It will be a lighting project that will use residual funds from 2 projects that we've closed out. There's $13,603 that we can use for this project. We're wanting to do the archery building because Billy says there's still rebates that we can receive on that will last a short time, so we're trying to get that one going. And we'll be able to do a portion of bin gate with the remaining funds. So we'll have to do the capital fund request in order to transfer from the old project to this new.
So we need to do the BG1 first. Any questions about that, ladies and gentlemen? Hearing nothing, I'll look for a motion to approve the BG1 application form for BG 18-354 archery building and bin gate.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sun. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to the capital funds request. Need a motion to approve the capital fund request in the amount of $13,603 for same BG1 at 18-354. I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Bengate Elementary paving.
We just need approval for the BG4 and 5 so that we can close out this project.
Look for a motion to approve, or if you did 2 separate ones. Look for a motion to approve the BG4 form. Thank you, Wes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. And also BG 5 to close out Band-Aid repaving project. I'll make that motion. Who will second me?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. BG approved. Moving on to South Middle School asphalt.
Okay, this is just the approval for the BG4 for the lighting portion of this project. We're still waiting on the final closeout documents to do the BG4 on the paving portion. So that should be coming soon.
I'm sorry, it's asphalt and lighting, is that what it says?
And this is just for the lighting portion.
Auditorium lights. We're just doing the lights because we're waiting on the paperwork for the asphalt repairs. Okay, so we'll look for a motion to approve BG 17-216 for the lighting only. Thank you, Dr. Sugg. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. East Heights, partial roof and asphalt.
Okay, this is for the BG4 for the roof portion of this project. They will not do the paving until spring break. Is that right? Summer. Summer. Spring break. Yeah. And the BG5 will come after they do all asphalt.
Okay, so this is the BG form for the roof replacement only. Is that correct? Okay. Need a motion to approve BG 17-215 for East Heights roof replacement.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to microcomputer specialist at Henderson County High School, Ms. Morgana.
Sure, I just wanted to take a minute tonight and let the board, or have the board be aware of the microcomputer specialist at Henderson County High School. We currently do not have a person at the high school. We do have that job description on our books and on our salary schedule. And you all did approve a microcomputer specialist at Henderson County High School when you all approved the technology plan. So we are getting ready to post that position, and I just wanted to share with you all that that person will primarily be responsible for supervising and assisting a student help desk that will be put together next year as the high school roll out one-to-one, that we're going to have students help with a help desk, and the microcomputer specialist at Henderson County High School will have that job. All students and this person will be required to receive Lenovo certification, and by doing that, we'll be able to get reimbursement for some of the warranty work that kids and this person will be able to perform up to $40 per device. So we just wanted to share hope in the long run that we'll get some reimbursement back, plus great experience for students. But to really make a student help desk run efficiently, we have to have some adult supervision to get that started. So I feel very comfortable that you all are very aware, you already approved it, but with us not placing a microcomputer specialist at the Henderson County High School in the past, I just wanted to make sure that we made that aware here at the board table.
Thank you, we appreciate that. Any questions regarding that position? Hearing none, let's move on to the consent agenda, which is approve transportation request, adopt retiree resolutions, approve the 2018-2019 school activity budget, approve 2018-2019 activity fundraisers, approve overnight trip requests, grant applications, and bid recommendations. Is there anything that needs to be pulled or changed to the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed. Thank you, Dr. Sugg. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda approved. Moving on to financial, tentative budget. Ms. Cindy.
Okay, categorized by KDE, and the guaranteed base per pupil rate will change from $3,981 to $4,000 per pupil. The changes made in this budget are listed on the sheet that was labeled tentative budget plan, and the additions are to the general fund for a few people. These positions are for a digital learning coach at the high school to help with their one-to-one initiative, the microcomputer specialist that Margana just mentioned, and 2 school resource officers, 1 at North and 1 at South Middle. There are also funds in this budget to cover the cuts for the state allocation. There's a sheet in the budget packet that shows what those reductions would be, $126,761. That were mostly to our PD, ESS, and instructional resources, our flex focus fund. The good news on that page is that the budget bill phased in the increase to the employer match that we had already planned in our budget last year and the draft budget. That 50% planned increase was changed to a 12% increase instead of be phased in over the next 10 years. So that freed up $300,000 that will cover all these changes that were made to this budget. The only addition that I've made from this tentative budget from the draft budget that we saw in January is the addition of 2 school buses that will be $200,000. So if you look at the budget summary sheet, you can see the comparison of the draft budget to the tentative budget. The $200,000 change will show on the general fund line. The special revenue fund 2 is in there that was not required to be shown in the draft budget. And the change to the building fund is $1 million, a little over $1 million. That's where we will now receive 100% equalization on our nickel tax that was passed instead of the 25% equalization that we were receiving the last 2 years. The 2 pie charts in there show the breakdown of our revenues and expenses. On the expense side, our salaries are a little bit high, but we're staying consistent around the 81 to 82% range. The next few sheets will show our debt schedules with each outstanding issue that we owe and the years that they'll be paid off. Next year we'll have the $2.4 million in debt service payments that will need to be made. At this point, I feel like this is a good budget. It's a fairly conservative budget. Once we find out how we're going to end at the end of the year, we'll probably try to work in a couple more school buses and possibly a Suburban to help with travel. And I will also plan on placing a portion of those discretionary funds into our contingency to help us have funds available if we have any more unforeseen cuts. The way the state goes, you never know. We found out they can pop up at any time. Does anyone have any questions?
Anyone else have questions? I have a couple, Miss Cindy. Number 7 on your first page, the seat transportation proration of 38.3%. I thought my understanding was that they, at the end of the legislative session, they had put that number back to where it was last year. That is where it was last year? I was thinking it was higher than that. We'll get about 60%. Rounded it off to that.
It's always around 38, 39%.
See.
That's exactly what it was.
That was last year. Okay, all right. And the other thing is not a question, but highlight that we are adding 2 resource officers to our middle schools, which I believe was some of the requests from the community when we had our safety meeting.
Yes, and I planned in this budget for the whole amount to come out of the general fund, but depending on the safe schools budget, there may be, Steve may contribute part of that.
There may be some safe schools money that comes available to us, but any of that can still be well spent. We have 1 resource officer at the high school, is that 2? 2. 1 at Central. One we're not sharing with what we have in the past, right? Okay. And that that's a good thing. We need to remind the community that we are working and doing what they ask us to do during some of the community meetings. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, moving on. Let's see, we need to approve this tentative budget. Is that correct? Okay, I'll look for a motion to approve the tentative budget for 2017-2018 as presented by Ms. Cloutier. Thank you, Mr. West. I'll second that. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Tentative budget approved. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report for the month of April shows total receipts of $6,026,006 and total expenses of $5,826,183 for a net increase in all funds of $199,823. Part of that was the bond proceeds for our guaranteed energy savings contract for $1.275. Any questions on the treasurer's report?
Madam Chair, members of the board, I respectfully request your approval as presented tonight by Cindy Cloutier.
We look for a motion to approve the treasurer's report as listed.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sugg. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to the pay warrant report.
Pay warrant report covers the period of April the 17th through May 21st. It includes total paid warrants of $4,363,603.76. The majority of that being debt service payments and construction work. Any questions?
Well, we had one question, but I just want to say that it's a thank you and an appreciation. I had asked Ms. Morgana earlier about a $25,000 payment to the Community Foundation. And what she explained to me was actually that was part of a grant that we received, that we had agreed to split half of it with the Community Foundation. And who would get that grant from?
The Freshman Foundation gave us a $50,000 grant, and as Ginger mentioned earlier, $25,000 of that went to tuition, and $25,000 went to the endowment.
With the endowment for future things. Right, thank you. And we want to publicly thank them for doing that too. Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I respectfully request the approval of the paid warrant report as presented tonight by Cindy Cloutier.
Thank you. I look for a motion to approve and pay the bills. Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Dr. Sugg. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Be it noted that we have received and reviewed all personnel actions. And, oh my gosh, Ms. Tracy.
I get to make a motion that we adjourn. Didn't like that here.
Who wants to second that motion? Thank you, Dr. Sun. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all.